I can tell you one about John Allen Hawley. He was in the 51st North Carolina. I can tell you a little tale about him. That accident is like my wife's actually a descendant of that family. Anytime you're ready,
We're going. Just keep going. Why are you
going? Story that I heard from when I was a young boy. Don't remember whether my grandfather told it, but I believe it was Naylor Lee. I'm not sure, but I think it was Naylor Lee. Naylor Lee was a descendant of John Allen Hawley also. And but during the Civil War, and I believe this was in 1863, if my memory is right, John Allen Hawley had got wounded at Gettysburg, and I believe that was 63. But they sent him home to recuperate, and he lived over here, what is now Phillips Road. There used to be a path from Corinth Church that come out at on Phillips Road, and he lived down that road. But he came home to recuperate. Well, he didn't go back, so they sent the home guard out of Fayetteville to pick him up. And he was married to what was Cinderella Tew. The home guard came riding up, and Cinderella came out the front door to see what they wanted. And they told her that they had come to pick John Allen Hawley up and take him back to go back to his regiment. Well, she said, let me get my shawl and I'll take you to him. He's down behind the house. So they follow her down behind the house, and she goes down to the edge of the woods, and she said, there he is. Dig him up and take him with you. He had died. Well, Cinderella was left there with 3 or 4 children. And she married William Seals sometime after that. And then they had a bunch of children. I think he ended up with about 6 of theirs and 3 of hers. But anyhow, the descendants of William Seals ends up in Irwin, North Carolina. And they go to work at the mill when the Dukes come in and build, I think it's called Duke at that time, and they build Irwin Mills. And they end up, we're all working in Irwin Mills, and they finally end up all going to. Well, my wife, Betty Gray, is a descendant of those Seals. Her grandmother, Cornelia Seals, is buried over here in Starling Cemetery. And but she is a descendant of that. It's kind of funny when I started messing around with John Rosser and Irvin Godwins and James Blue, and we trailed around all the cemeteries and all the courthouses and all the churches trying to find records and stuff. I come up that we are like 7th cousins. Well, 2 years ago, I'm messing around with the Lockamies, trying to find out what I can on the Lockamies, and I come upon Lubrella Lockamy. That's my wife's great-grandmother. I come off the same line. We're closer than what I thought. Sometimes that's where idiots come from, is when you marry too close. Back in the day, I go to looking through genealogy sometimes, and it's amazing to me how many first cousins that married one another. But then you go to thinking there was no way of going anywhere fast. You didn't go to Fayetteville to get your wife.
Most people married within 5 miles of where they were born.
You married somebody across the creek. And a lot of times the one across the creek was kin to you. Sometimes very close. And like I said, sometimes it can work out, sometimes it don't work out. I had a great aunt who was my grandmother's sister. She got to go into family reunions down at Bennettsville, South Carolina, and she met a boy down there, and they got married, and they ended up, they were first cousins. And that stuff don't work out good sometimes because their son, he actually had a nervous breakdown and killed himself. His son also had a nervous breakdown and killed himself. So there's something in that when you get too close.
Your genes.
The genes don't work out together when they're not like dogs and cats and stuff like that. You know, they don't work out sometimes. But